Thank you very much to Liz and Nick and Karen and Zeynep for a great and inspirational panel. If you'd like to hear more about Nick's book, he's presenting at MIT Thursday lunchtime. I still have a few tickets left if you speak to me afterwards. Zeynep has a great book, which nobody mentioned, The Case for Good Jobs, which was a Financial Times long list book last year. Yes. Well, I'm sorry you didn't win that prize, Zeynep. I'm also sorry that Ron and I didn't win it, but I'm more sorry you didn't win it, because you deserve to win it. And of course, you can follow Karen on LinkedIn, where she is very, very outspoken and clear on all of these issues. And Liz has many fantastic publications and many more to come on industrial strategy, including, I hope, with the good jobs element. So I think that we had a terrific afternoon. We had panels on policy. We had policy. We had panels on dealing with broader philosophical and deep and technological issues related to AI, and of course we talked a lot about good jobs. I think we can legitimately walk away from today with a great deal of inspiration as well as many concrete ideas, but I have to say my completely personal imagination of what comes next is a little bit darker and a little bit more urgent than what we were just talking about, because we had another conference at MIT in December talking about the future of generative AI, and in that, as part of that conference, just one sliver of it, we had people from private equity, and you reminded me of this, discussing their plans for deployment. This is corporate strategy, their plans for deployment of AI in multiple settings, including with regard to its impact on MBAs. And in that context, somebody said to me, you know, this company I'm working with, we used to have 10 MBAs doing a particular role and paying them a lot of money, and now we only need one. And I said, how long does it take to make that transition to that new arrangement? And they said 2 cycles of their retail business, which is 6 months. So I think it's entirely feasible that we are facing a much more pressure on jobs both for non-college educated people and for college educated people. And we are working in this initiative, Shaping the Future of Work, on exactly those problems, on mobilizing people like yourself, on pushing forward the research and linking that with policy, I think with as much urgency as the situation requires. And I think that urgency is pretty dramatic. We have received very generous funding for today and for our efforts in general from the William and Flora Hewlett Foundation, from Schmidt Futures, now Schmidt Sciences, the National Science Foundation, Google, the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, the Washington Center for Equitable Growth, and the Nomis Foundation. And I would also like to mention, this is a very big shout out to all of our colleagues at MIT who've worked on these issues in the past, on whose shoulders we stand, and who work on these issues now. And it's very important that you follow their work just as much as you follow our work. So in the past, and the antecedent of this effort, perhaps in large part, in addition to many, many years of work by Dron and David, was the MIT Task Force on the Future, Work of the Future, which was co-chaired by Liz and David Mendel, who's at the back. The currently very active Sloan, MIT Sloan Institute for Work and Employment Research. I see Erin Kelly was here a moment ago, and Emilio Castillo are the directors of that. MIT's Industrial Performance Center, the Work of the Future initiative led by Professor Julie Shah, who was here, and Ben Armstrong. And absolutely not the least, Tom Koken, who's sitting right here, looking extremely modest as always. Tom's outstanding work over many, many years on shaping the work of the future. He has a book with this title, A Handbook for Action and a New Social Contract, written jointly with Lee Dyer. Thank you, Tom. Thank you to all our colleagues for all the amazing work that you have done, and the tradition of outstanding scholarship and useful applications that we aspire to continue that tradition. Last words of thanks go to the people who made today possible. Our director, Karen Moffat, who's sitting in the second row here. Our program manager, Julia Regia, who I think is actually making the reception possible. We'll get to that in a minute. Our fantastic research fellows, Gavin Olcott, Juanita Jaramillo, Austin Lynch, Jan Yesildire, and Brenda Wu. Thank you very much to all of these people. I would, of course, like to thank MIT's leadership, including President Sally Kornbluth, who you met earlier today if you were in the previous session, MIT Economics Department, MIT Blueprint Labs, the MIT Sloan School of Management, the MIT School of Humanities, Arts and Social Sciences, and everyone else at MIT, just in case I forgot to mention you by name. The next part of today's program is a reception, which I believe will be held at the 1 or 2 doors down this way. Thank you so much for your attention, everyone.